What's going on, sports fans? What's going on? It's Sunday, August 8th edition, the Put the Kids to Bed version of the Sports 2.0 Network. I am Rodney Newpel. That is Tim Honest Abe. Congratulations on this, Abe. I guess I never would have figured you were going to win that event today.
Well, I totally called it. If you remember on Wednesday when we did our brilliant FedEx St. Jude Invitational, I guaranteed that a person who has never won on the PGA Tour would win. I guaranteed it.
Yeah, well, it was just a weird event how it went down today. How, basically English and DeChambeau kind of just folded. But especially Harris. Well, both of them really. English, he go 3 over today, and DeChambeau was, 3 or 4 over.
Yeah, well,
it was kind of a weird ending.
Well, what's crazy too, and I know we're getting our GCDs out of the way here a little bit, but English was up to 20 under. Like, if you would have said that, there's a 3-way tie for 16 under that's going into a playoff, and Harry English isn't in that mix, you would have been like, oh God, what happened? And I mean, didn't have a single birdie in the back 9, 2 doubles, another bogey, just real serious meltdown. Yeah. And then Bryson had a triple bogey on a par 3, which totally sunk his chances. Yeah, it's funny. It's because it's like, clearly it's a course that people can score on, evident by some of the scores that we saw this week. But also it's like, oh man, you have a bad hole, you're screwed. And I think Siwoo Kim can attest to that better than anyone.
Oh man. Yeah, Harry English with 2 double bogeys in the back 9 finished with a 5 over 40 on the back 9.
Terrible.
To choke that one away.
And he's been leading the entire tournament too. He was great on Thursday and he's just carried the lead. And I was like texting you guys. I was like, oh yeah, like English has this in the bag. He's just been great. He was locked in. He was a birdie machine and then just all unraveled at the wrong time, which is unfortunate, but that's golf.
Old Bryson shot a 41 back 9. Oh man.
I was starting to think, I don't know if you were watching it all, but I was starting to think, like, watching Bryson, I was like, it's been a little while since we saw a good old-fashioned Bryson meltdown. He seems a little too composed, and then sure enough, we got that hole 11 par 3, and I was like, there he is.
There he is. All right, so let's move off the golf. No more to talk about in golf.
What else?
What else do you got to talk about in the world of golf?
I like the fact that your boy Hideki went like 7 under today to even make the playoff. He was incredible.
He was good.
Nearly won it too. What was it? Was it the 18th? I think it was like the 18th where he would have outright won, and he had a putt that like lipped out.
Yeah. He played well after initially, but I mean 16 under. He played well all weekend. He was 9 under, coming into today, and finished 7 under today for 16 total. It was so weird. Yeah, it's really good. It's so weird how you had guys at 7 under today, and then you had like leaders at 3 and 4 over. Like they were all over the place. I don't feel like scores are typically all over the place, especially those at the top of the leaderboard. But
man, my pick to win, Scotty Scheffler, was so good, and then 74 today. Like, 74. And now he didn't even finish in the top 10, so I look like such a loser because of that pick. But like, he was in the top 5 like the entire tournament. It was ridiculous.
He was flirting with the win and didn't quite get it done. But hey, you been watching any NFL Hall of Fame induction? I'm not. I don't typically watch much of it. I mean, I follow kind of what's going on, but have you seen any of it yet?
I have never watched a Hall of Fame induction for any sport other than baseball.
Yeah.
Because it's really like the only Hall of Fame that I care about is the Baseball Hall of Fame. The Basketball Hall of Fame is the Basketball Hall of Fame for a reason, because they let anyone in who's ever dribbled a basketball. So I don't care. And then like Pro Football Hall of Fame, I don't know. It's just so self-involved, and like their speeches are just so over the top. And I'm like, enough already. But like the Baseball Hall of Fame is just like, I don't want to say pure. Maybe that's the wrong word. But it's just like when you think of the Hall of Fame, you think of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Yeah, and it's just like Cooperstown. It's just a great tradition in this small little town. So that's the only one that I really care about.
I probably will catch up on supposedly Peyton Manning was pretty funny today. I'll probably try to hit some of the highlights of that. He can be funny at times. And then I've always been, and I think it's partly because he's an Orlando guy and I've spent some time down there, but I love Charles Woodson. And I think he's a great guy, and supposedly his speech was pretty good today. So I'll try to catch those a little bit, but other than that, I haven't watched much. Haven't watched much.
Did they give speeches yesterday too? Did they like break it apart into two nights? Because because I know like Edger and James spoke yesterday, and because I saw the clips this morning, so I think maybe they had like the class of 2020 yesterday, and then 2021 was today.
It would make sense. It would make sense. They kind of get their own time, their own day.
More importantly, did you watch any of the Hall of Fame game? I know you, being such a huge football fan, clearly had exhibition football on.
I did take the under.
Did you? Well, yeah, the under. I just looked it up too. The under, it was like 33 points, which I thought was ridiculous. The under is hit close. It's only hit like over 33 like twice in the last like 10 years or something like that.
They just can't. They just don't score on that game.
No,
they didn't even try to
score. Like Ben DiNucci and Mason Rudolph. Why would they score?
They didn't even try to score. One more question about: did you watch the Battle of the Chicago tonight?
I have it on right now.
Home run in the first, huh?
What was that?
I said home run, and home run in the first.
Yeah, 3 home runs. Eloy Jimenez has 2 home runs this game. He had another like RBI hit. So just rubbing salt in the wounds. The Cubs are so bad. And honestly, I'm like watching this game right now, and there are a lot of White Sox fans there, like more than you would normally see for a crosstown classic at Wrigley.
You brought up a good question earlier. Why don't you bring that up on the show as far as the downfall of the Cubs and where it may have started?
I thought it was a good question, and I feel like there is a good argument to that. So I was just looking. I was thinking about the Eloy Jimenez deal. I was like, man, the Cubs really could have used him. And then I see Dylan Cease on the mound, and I'm like, man, the Cubs really could have used him. And I'm thinking about when everything sort of started to unravel for this this dynasty in the making on the north side of Chicago. And I thought it all goes back to the Jose Quintana trade in July of 2017, when the Cubs, who were trying to go back-to-back, were desperate for another starting pitcher. They traded their top young prospect in Jimenez. They traded their top young pitching prospect in Cease for a few years of control for Quintana, and everything has just seemed to go downhill after that. Quintana was never a great option for them. Meanwhile, the other 2 guys flourished in Chicago, and everything just sort of spiraled from there.
And I'll be quite honest, I've never thought Jose Quintana was very good.
He was like, here's the thing. Jose Quintana was fine. And like he was an all-star with the White Sox. Like he was fine, but that trade package is what you do if you are trading for like Max Scherzer in his prime.
Yeah.
Like you don't, which is, I mean, that's what the Dodgers just did. Like the Dodgers traded their top 2 prospects for Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. The Cubs traded their 2 top prospects, also defending champs, for Jose Quintana. Like that's your difference right there. So just the value just did not add up. And I think just everything went bad from there because they became incredibly thin in their farm system. They didn't have any replacements, and things have just gone downhill ever since.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. I mean, and I'm totally going off the path here. But I've always, because if you are a Cub fan, you do kind of look back on that moment. For me, as a Cardinal fan, sadly, my moment when everything kind of started going downhill. Do you have my answer here? Cardinals, same question. Do you have my answer?
When everything went downhill for the Cardinals?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't the move from Matheny to Schilt, I don't think.
Nope.
I'm trying to think of like what trades that they would have made though, because like the Goldschmidt deal worked.
Here's mine, and it's.
All right. I'm gonna guess. Okay, I think I know what it is, Rodney.
Yeah.
I think the worst thing to happen to the Cardinals was Matt Carpenter's scorching hot 6 weeks in 2018 that earned him a fat extension and kept him a part of this team, an integral part of the team, even until now.
While that might be true, I'm going to go back even further. I've always said, and it's almost 7 years worth now, the Oscar Taveras death. He was going to be in that outfield. He was going to be that guy. Then they went and overpaid for Jason Hayward, and then they obviously let him go, and then they tried to overcompensate with Dexter Fowler, and the outfield's just been a revolving door since then. But he would have been a staple in the outfield for all these years, and they've had revolving doors since then.
That's a good point. Like the Hayward deal, and then who they trade, like Shelby Miller for Jason Hayward. Is that what it was?
He was one, yeah. But I mean, just the fact of being desperate to go get that, and then not being able to get him. then not be able to get him back. Oh, now we got to put one up on the Cubs and go get Dexter Fowler. That was another bad move.
Yeah.
And just
I see the chain of events there, and especially when you see how it like leads to Dexter Fowler, I absolutely see that.
And then because I don't know as if they have to necessarily rush to eliminate guys like Tommy Pham, and I mean I know Randy Rosarina was kind of a different case, but like if Tavares is in that outfield, like is there as much pressure on those guys to be really good right away, or do they stick with Pham through the thick and thin? Do they stick with the Rosarina? Mm-hmm. Do they stick with? I mean, Stephen Piscotty was also a different deal because they basically said, okay, you can go somewhere else because you've got health, your family's got health issues here. I don't know. I've always thought that. I don't know if I'm necessarily putting all the dots together here, but I still think that to this day, that death put them way back in the organization.
No, I could absolutely see the argument there, especially when you look at, they were desperate for outfielders, so we're going to maybe rush up Randall Grichuk. And they've done that a number of times because we've talked about it, where it seems like they have all these outfielders that there's a whole lot of promise and a lot of potential, and then a couple years in St. Louis, and then they move on from them just because they don't reach where they're at. And it finally seems like they have something with Dylan Carlson, but that's taken a long time.
Yeah. And I really like Dylan Carlson. I think you're right. They do have something in. I mean, I don't think Harrison Bader is a star, but I think Harrison Bader is a guy that can be okay in center field. Mm-hmm. But anyways, let's get off the Cardinals. Tyler has a question. He asked, although could Eloy play outfield every day? I mean, I think the knack is that he could be brittle, but we don't know that. What do you think?
Or maybe is Tyler asking when the Cubs traded him, did they view him as an everyday outfielder, or did they think he was going to be limited in the field? I mean, here's
that's true. Yeah.
There's two-sided. Number one, they had Kyle Schwarber in the outfield.
Yep.
But also, I could see why they wouldn't want Kyle Schwarber and Eloy Jimenez out there together, plus Jason Hayward. Yes, it was an overpay. Yes, they also had Hayward and Jorge Soler at the time, right?
Yeah.
So, there were a lot of outfielders and just a lot of spots. And, Rizzo was clogged at first, so Schwarber's bat was only going to be in the outfield anyway. So, I understand that there. But perhaps, maybe moving on from Schwarber was the move rather than Eloy. Hindsight's 20/20, I get that. But clearly, it has not worked out well for them.
Speaking of Anthony Rizzo, hopefully his health is improved as he went on the COVID. I guess I'm kind of ruining a SIA here, aren't I?
Yeah, a little bit. There was an Anthony Rizzo appearance on the SIA list, but which I'm bummed because I'm going to the Yankees White Sox series next weekend, and I was looking forward to seeing Rizzo in the pinstripes. It was his first game back in Chicago, even if it wasn't at Wrigley.
Oh yeah, he's definitely not able to play. I mean, he's got to be 10 days,
10 days,
right?
Yeah. It's 10 days, yeah.
And that started yesterday, so yeah, there's no way. Hey, let's turn our attention to the National Football League. I know that we are still, it's funny because this time of year is everybody's getting ready for football, but what are we still a month away from the first game? It's 4 weeks from Thursday. Hall of Fame game we're not going to count. There are some preseason games obviously starting this week. Let's just kind of take a look at the National Football League. I mean, we could do the normal betting pick, the odds for win totals. We could do who you got in the AFC, NFC. Where do you want to go with the NFL right now?
Why don't you pull up some win totals? Let me know what site you're looking at too, and maybe we'll look at a few that are obvious. Oh, this number's way too high. This number's way too low, and just any that catch your eye there. Because again, the people who come up with these, generally speaking, they're right on the money. But there's a couple times, I remember a couple years ago when the Texans were still, a competent franchise, their win total was 7.5, and they had just won the division. Stupid things like that where it's okay, this is obvious.
Yeah. So I've got this guy's from CBS Sports. He put in, we can do that. CBS Sports guy here. I like that because it's not necessarily a book. I mean, I like the books. They're going to be pretty similar, but I like the CBS Sports Line guy. He's got his win totals, and he's got them according to the most to the least, so we can just start at the top. Obviously, Kansas City's at 12, but we got to keep in mind there's 17 games this year, right? So 12-5 for Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would almost be willing to put some money on the under because if any Patrick Mahomes injury, they're going to win less, right?
Yeah, and I've especially when he was banged up last year. Do you remember that? I know it feels like forever ago, but in the postseason, he gets hurt in that Browns game. He doesn't finish the game. There's doubt as to whether he's even going to play in the AFC title game. And then, I think that the whole thing in the Super Bowl and seeing how fragile the offensive line was, I do think Kansas City is going to be really cautious with how they treat him this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
And plus the division's better. Like every other team in the AFC West has improved.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not dying to take the under 12, but if I had a lean there, I would go under 12. Let's go to the bottom. Texans and Lions are both 5 wins.
Yeah.
5-12 for both. I think you got to take the under for the Texans, right?
I mean, Deshaun Watson is there right now at camp. I don't know what saga that is, but yeah, the Texans just appear to be the worst team in football. The Lions aren't too far behind, but I don't know if Man Campbell is going to be able to get a few kneecaps along the way and add up a few wins. But yeah, I think Texans are going to finish with less than 5 wins. I do.
I mean, Houston starts with Jacksonville, so they got a chance to start right away with a win. And obviously if you win week 1,
Trevor Lawrence is going to carve up Houston.
You think so?
I do think so. Yeah, Houston's defense is awful.
They got the Colts in week 6. That's a game, obviously. I mean, if you don't have Carson Wentz, I think that could be up in the air. Mm-hmm. Trying to look at they got the Jets at the end of November. And looking at the other Colts game is in December. That's probably not a win. So their schedule's fairly tough. They got the Chargers, they got the Seahawks out of division, they got the Rams. Yeah, under. I'm going under on the Houston Texans, 5 wins.
They went 4-12 last year with a team that went 1-15 in the division and with Deshaun Watson as their quarterback for all 16 games.
Yeah, under.
Yeah.
Detroit Lions also 5. I don't know. I mean, yeah,
I've heard a couple of people be like, "Oh, look out for the Lions," but I don't see it. They went from Matthew Stafford to Jared Goff.
Yeah.
And Sean McVay to Dan Campbell is not going to be very good for Jared Goff. They lost Galladay and Jones and all these weapons. I don't see how that team is going to be able to do anything productive offensively.
Who are their receivers now?
That's a great question, Rodney. Allow me to be a good co-host and pull up the Lions depth chart for the 2021 season.
Geronimo Allison.
Oh, is he there now? I have Tyrell Williams, who is he, the former Raider?
And Charger, right?
And I don't know. Charger. Brashad Perriman, Quintez Cephas.
Yeah, Cephas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is terrible. That's a terrible group. I mean, TJ Hawkinson is the best receiver on that team.
He is.
Tight end.
He is. And then, so Swift is their running back with Jamal Williams as their 2.
Yeah. I mean, that's terrible. The whole team is bad.
Under. Let's go here. So your Chicago Bear, not yours, but the Chicago Bears, a local flavor here, comes in at 7.5.
Under.
You think?
Under. Oh, yeah.
And why is that?
Well, I do think that Justin Fields, as excited as we are about him, he's not going to start every game. I think that they're going to start at least the first probably 3 weeks or so with Dalton before they move to Fields. But what scares me, number one, they are starting a rookie at left tackle, a rookie second rounder at left tackle, and then their right tackle is Jermaine Ifedi, who's just a journeyman. So their tackle situation is rough. Defensively, they don't have any corners, and in a league where you ought to be able to stop the pass, they don't have any competent cornerback that's going to be able to go up against other teams' top receivers. They have one of the top 5 hardest schedules in the NFL this year. The defense is old, so they're not a good football team.
One I like under is the New England Patriots. Do you know what their win total is?
Well, they made a lot of moves in free agency, and it's Bill Belichick, so I wouldn't be surprised if they probably put them right at 8.
They're at 9.
Oh, That seems high.
It does seem high. I like the under there.
So that's an over 500 record, right? 9-8.
Yeah, 9-8 would be
Nah,
a push. Would be a push, and obviously you're willing if you're going to bet to possibly push.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously that's better than a loss, but yeah, I don't see it. They obviously the Dolphins are going to be competitive in the division. Bills are going to be better. They'll be better than the Jets, but then outside of that, they got to play the NFC South, Saints, Buccaneers. The Saints won't be great anymore, but Saints, Buccaneers, Panthers, and Falcons, and then
who I think is who I think's a little too high as well.
Who's that?
I think the Ravens are too high.
Yeah, I could see that.
And the Ravens are they're a pretty solid, consistent team, but they have them as the third best team. They're tied with the Packers at 11 wins, behind only the Chiefs and the Bucks. It's just the Browns are good. The Steelers hang in there. The Bengals are going to be a little improved. I think the league is figuring out Lamar Jackson a bit. You look at his MVP year versus last year, and you could see it particularly in the passing game. There's a big difference there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like Baltimore is going to be more like 9-10 wins this year.
I'm going to go over on the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm intrigued by them. Yeah. I don't know if I love them, and I don't think that they're going to be an amazing playoff team, but Joe Burrow's healthy. He's going to throw the ball a ton, and we saw lots of promise from him.
Yeah, I mean, they get the NFC North, so I think as one of their schedule. I think they could beat the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions out of that. I really do. I mean, obviously, I don't know where the Green Bay's game they're at. They host Green Bay, so I mean, even those four, I think those are games that they could possibly get. I'm looking down their schedule. They got to go to the Jets. I think that's a win they could get. They got the Raiders. I think that's a win they could get. So a little bit of a softer schedule. 49ers are on the schedule. I like the Bengals over 6.5.
I was going to mention one more, a team that I like the over for them. I have the Vikings here at 8.5.
Okay.
Well, look, if let's just do the math here. If we think the Lions are going to be like a 4-win or worse team, I don't love the Bears roster. The Vikings, in addition, their defense compared to where it was last year, I think is hugely improved. I think they had the worst injury luck of any team in the NFL last year on their defense. Now, granted, I'm worried when Kirk Cousins is talking about not getting vaccinated, and I'm like, oh God, what happens if he's out? But even if they go to Kellen Mond, I think they might be okay with him. But I think that's just a really balanced, solid team that I think can definitely win 9 games in a 17-game season.
And there's still kind of some question marks on the Packers.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Even with Aaron Rodgers reporting and saying he's going to, now he's, but that, one or two things go wrong there, or, and obviously injury to Aaron Rodgers, and it's a big deal. But I like that one. I like that one. That's one I'm going to consider looking at a little bit more as well. Vikings over 8.5. You can get it at -115. Basically a 9-8 record. I like it. So let's see here. Tyler's got another comment for us. He's going to plexiglass himself. That should work for you, Kirk.
It's like the Pope. You know what I'm talking about? The little Pope mobile just surrounded by plexiglass. That's how Kirk's going to be rolling up to the stadium on game day.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Hey, let's get to the you got the GCD. You got Gutless Choking Dog of the Week. We're about 25 minutes in here. Let's get to that, and then we can spend some time on the Cias. You have a GCD of the week?
I do. Well, it's spoiler alert. We've already talked about them, but in case you were just joining us, the FedEx St. Jude Invitational had a guy who was in the lead the entire way until the back 9 more holes, and he was smooth sailing, but instead Harris English with 2 double bogeys, another bogey, dropped 5 strokes in those last 9 holes to not only not win a event that he was more than favored to win, but also didn't even make the 3-man playoff after 18. So Harris English is my official GCD of the week.
Yeah. And, it really cost me quite a bit of DraftKings money. I was doing really well with him on numerous teams, and my money just kept dropping and dropping.
Sorry about that. That's usually what happens on these Sundays, I've noticed, Rodney. Whenever we do DFS golf, that seems to be the theme.
Did you know that? I guess I didn't know. I always thought Harris English was not from America.
Oh, yeah. I learned today when I saw his little American flag next to his name on the leaderboard. I was like, oh, crap, he is American. I don't know why I assumed
his name was English.
Was English.
He has, excuse me, he has 4 PGA Tour wins. Yeah, he's from Valdosta, Georgia. Oh, who knew? Who knew that Harris English? I mean, I'd never really seen him play much. Like, I've followed his scores and stuff like that. I had no idea how old he was. I mean, he's 32, and I think he probably looks around 32. But I had no idea until I watched a little bit today. So, Harris English, what do you know? What do you know? Skeeter probably knew. What do you think,
Skeeter
Skeeter?
definitely. I think Skeeter definitely knew that he was American. I don't know if he knew that he was from Valdosta, Georgia, or wherever, but I'm sure he knew that he was American, which goes to show how well we follow. Like, we both knew Harris English, but like, did we? Like,
no, we did not.
Clearly not.
No, we did not. I had no idea what his stats were either. No idea.
Is Sam Burns American? Because like he snuck up in that playoff real fast.
Let's check out Sam Burns. Let's check out Sam Burns on the old. Oh yeah, he's 32nd in the. He's 32nd in the recent rankings. Sam Burns, you get one guess at where he went to college. One guess at where he went to college. Sam Burns.
He wasn't a part of like that Oklahoma State group, right?
No, he was not. So I'm going to tell you where he was born, and then you get one more guess at where he went to college. Right. He was born in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Did he go to LSU?
Yeah, he did go to LSU. He did go to LSU. Yeah.
My boy.
College guy. Yeah, I had no idea. No idea.
There's not a lot of players on tour that are from Louisiana, right?
No,
unless I'm just like missing a bunch.
I wouldn't think. He's got one professional win. He won earlier this year at the Valspar Championship. So congratulations, Sam Burns. Big weekend for him. The pride of Shreveport.
He had a putt. So did you see the playoff?
I didn't see it. No.
So
after Harry tanked, I'm done.
They did the 18th, and then they all parred. So then they did it again, and then Answer and Burns both had great shots. And they were about equal distant putts, like 6-foot putts. And Answer went first and hit his, and then Burns needed it to tie and to extend the playoff. And it literally like whoop, like around the hole and missed. Like, just killer.
Yeah, he would have been there. But anyway, Sam Burns. Maybe I'll pick him sometime.
Definitely not. You're just gonna play Spieth and Phil. And
I didn't play those guys this week. Hey, it's see-ya time. Let's get to the list of see-yas. Those have been eliminated this week. Been lost their job, went on the injury list. Whatever happened to them, it's see-ya time. Let's get it started.
By the way, congratulations, Eric Van Rooyen, for winning the Barracuda Championship. I did not watch any of the Barracuda this week, but all of like the non-elite PGA players were in the Barracuda, which that was happening.
Well, Matt Kuchar went over there.
I guess Cooch probably isn't top 70 in the world right now, huh?
No, our buddy, Gary Woodland went over there.
Gary has not played well at all since he won that major a couple of years ago.
119th in the FedEx rankings right now.
That hurts.
Yeah, the Barracuda. The winner ended up plus 50.
I didn't see Tony this week either.
Finau, he was at.
He was?
Yeah, he was. He was at. He was in Memphis.
He was just so like off the leaderboard, I guess, because I did not even know he played.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be surprised if I told you that Tony finished a little bit further than it, tied for 34th.
Oh, I just expected top 15.
But his problem was 74 today. That hurts.
That was the theme. Yeah, Brooks had a bad day too because Brooks was golfing well and he was terrible today.
He was bad. Shoffley was a little bit better today. All right, let's get to see-ya time. Those have been eliminated over the last few days. See-ya time. Here we go.
A shockingly short SIA list. So here we go. SIA Australian basketball team. They lost to the Americans. SIA Luka Doncic's undefeated international record.
I mean, it had to come to an end at some point.
That's impressive, though. What was it, like first 16 games?
Yeah, it's impressive.
For Slovenia?
Yeah, Slovenia. Yeah, I mean, do you think the average person knows what country Luka's from?
The average person?
Like the average NBA fan.
No, I do not. No. I bet they would guess Italy before they guess Slovenia.
Probably. You're probably right. Yeah.
See Lionel Messi. Apparently it was a big deal that he left Barcelona this week.
Soccer.
And no, to answer your question, your memes. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about society. All of your memes and jokes about, he should sign with the Lakers. He should sign with this team. Not funny.
No.
Everyone's doing the same thing.
Nothing about soccer is funny.
No, it's very serious. Very serious. The world's game. See ya, Josh Reddick was DFA'd this week by the Diamondbacks. Rodney, did you know Josh Reddick was a outfielder on the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, I did. He played in the Cardinal series several weeks ago. But like his career's just like there now, right? Like
it's gotta be something when he's like, I was a World Series champion a couple years ago, and now I just got DFA'd by the worst team in the league.
Yeah, and I mean, like, what's he gonna do now? Like, I mean, he'll get in somewhere, won't he? I mean, although he's 34, he'll be 35 in the off season. Maybe is that it?
I think it's gonna be it for him. I do.
That's it. Yeah. No more Josh Reddick.
Very sad. He had a good career.
He did make his pitching debut last month.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he gave up a home run to Albert Pujols. 22-1 loss.
Albert homered against the Angels today, by the way. I'm sure you
I know.
That. Yeah.
Was that sad for you?
I don't care. I'm whatever, over it. See ya, Saquon Barkley's first 2 weeks of the season. Seems like the Giants are taking a very cautious approach. Is he going to still be a first-round fantasy football pick this year?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, what do you do? That's where we got to have the nerds on. What do you do with Saquon? I mean,
because he already was probably a mid-first round guy, but now if he's not going to be there the first 2 weeks of the season, I mean, it's not crazy. Like Le'Veon Bell was still a first-round pick all those years ago when you didn't even know if he was going to be playing with the Steelers because he was in a holdout. So It happens. So yeah. I don't know. We really have hardly seen him with this new offense with Jason Garrett. I have no idea how they're going to use him. So anyway,
how many fantasy football leagues are you in this year?
I'm going to be in probably 2, maybe 3, but definitely 2.
Okay.
What about you?
Okay. Right now I'm only in 1, but I'm guessing I'll be in a 4 or 5. That's a lot for me, though.
I forgot that I was also in yours. I'm definitely in 3, if not 4. Wow, this escalated quickly.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
See ya, Jason Hayward on the IL with a finger inflammation. He's been terrible. You can probably expect that. See ya, Justin Jefferson suffered a shoulder injury. I think the AC joint. Fortunately, seems like he's going to be okay.
Is he ready for week 1, you think?
They made it seem like he's going to be fine. Yeah. So, see ya, Ramon Laureano, an 80-game PED suspension. That's a big blow for the A's.
It is.
That's bad.
Cheater.
You'll never believe it, but he unknowingly ingested something that was on the banned substance list. That's crazy. I think that's the first time that it's ever happened when a player had no idea that what he was taking was bad.
I had no idea.
See ya, Team USA baseball. They got shut out by Japan in the gold medal game. Again, that's what you get when you have Todd Frazier as your best player.
Yeah, no doubt. 38-year-old Todd Frazier.
See ya, Aaron Baines. Now, this one actually is kind of scary. Yeah. So, Aaron Baines suffered nerve damage in his neck, and he might be missing extended time, potentially all of the next season.
Yeah, right. That's bad. What happened again? What did he do?
So this is where I'm a little unclear because I just saw the Shams tweet and I just quickly wrote it on the See Ya list before I forgot. But I don't know if it's an injury that he suffered or they discovered it. I don't know. Maybe he just had some pain and then they did a further look and saw that there was some damage there.
So he played for Australia in the Olympics, right? He played.
I would have assumed, yeah.
He played for Australia. He's 34-year-old free agent too. He just got waived by the Raptors just earlier last week. Mm-hmm. So that's bad. I mean, that's bad because he's not going to get on a team. He's going to have to sit a year out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Hey, did you know that when Baines went down, Patty Mills dropped 42 on Luka in that game?
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty. Patty Mills. Who knew?
Patty Mills, the 8th best player on the Nets.
Yeah. Yeah, talk about depth.
All right, see ya, France basketball.
See ya, France. Yep, U.S. wins again.
I mean, that was expected, right? I know people were excited, and Kevin Durant's going on and talking all of his crap on Insta, but Isn't that impressive? Like,
I'm
they
not.
kind of should win, right? Like,
Yeah.
they should be a team where like Nicholas Batum, Evan Fournier, and Rudy Gobert are the best players, right? Like,
I mean, they're never. The problem is they'll never compare to the dream team, and so
always,
like
yeah.
anything they do, like if they don't win, it's going to be an absolute utter disaster. You're an embarrassment, and if you do win, ho ho hum, you're not the dream team. You didn't win every game by 80.
The team in 2008, I think, is the one that people say was like the closest to the dream team. That
Yeah.
08 team with like Kobe and LeBron and all them and Melo when he was still in his prime. Like, I think that one was like really good. Anyway,
Yeah. Go ahead.
see ya, Anthony Rizzo, COVID. See ya, Javi Baez. Now, you told me that there was a little Javi Baez see ya action today, and I saw what happened. So he hurt himself on a swing. Was there any update after that?
I'm going to look right now. I haven't seen more. So he exited the game with left hip tightness. There was some reports that it may not be as serious as initially feared, but I guess we'll go. He'll see you that game, and I will go as far as see you in the next Mets game. After that, I can't promise anything. He won't.
By the
play.
way, that is now 2 minor injuries, granted minor, but still 2 minor injuries that Javi Baez has suffered in his time with the Mets. In his very limited time in a New York Mets uniform, a little over a week.
Can I just say something about Anthony Rizzo?
Oh, yeah, please.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, Anthony.
See ya, the Olympics.
Yeah, and I'm not sad.
I'm not sad. I will be a lot more excited for the Winter Olympics next year.
Which is in like 14 months from now.
Not even, bro. It's next February.
Oh, like 4 months.
2022.
5 months. Oh, yeah. So like 5 months away. Nice.
That's what I'm saying. Like coming up real fast. Yeah. So we're going to like have to deal with all the Olympic crap with NBC all over again.
Oh, yeah. So like right after the NFL playoffs, we're getting to the Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Which I believe the NHL is going to take a pause in the season to have the Olympic break, which I'm happy for because I know like 2018 it was pretty brutal to see what the hockey teams looked like without NHL players.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to take a break from February 7th through the 22nd. So
I'm good with that. I'm totally good with that.
I guess as a head of content, I like that the Olympics are coming. That's more to do in February. I don't know what am I right about. What is it, like curling and stuff like that?
I mean, curling, alpine skiing, snowboarding, figure skating. I like the Winter Olympics, man. I like the one where they like have like the crap on their feet and they're like trudging through the snow and then they just are like shooting stuff at the same time. Like, I don't even know what it's called. I don't know why they felt the need to combine all of those things, but like, I'm for it.
So that's in Beijing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually the 4th through 20th, which is going to be interesting because that is going to be the same time as the Super Bowl. It's the same dates. I mean, I know you can do both. The Super Bowl's on February 13th, but you're going to have the Olympics going on the same time as the Super Bowl. It's just interesting. I don't know why it's interesting.
I feel bad for NBC.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you're the Olympics, you can't schedule anything. You can't schedule anything major on that Sunday. No way. It's just that you're gonna lose, obviously. So
it sucks too, and I mean, like, good for Beijing for getting the Olympics, even though they just had the summer games in 2008. But like, again, we have to deal with like the really bad time change to where we're watching stuff on prime time, and it's like, oh yeah, this happened 12 hours ago. All
right, last question before we go. You're done with See Ya time, right?
I am done with See Ya time. Yes,
okay,
that was the See Ya for the See Ya list.
MLB divisions have tightened up, most of them. I'm just going to simply ask you who wins each division right now, and then we're going to finish up.
All right.
AL East, Rays are up 4 games. Who wins the AL East?
I think Rays hold on and win that division.
I'm going to go Rays as well. I don't think the Red Sox make the playoffs.
I think the Red Sox are starting to come back down to earth as I thought they would because their pitching is no good.
Yankees just 2.5 back, Blue Jays 3. We're both like the White Sox. Astros 2 games up on Oakland.
Well, I was going to just say White Sox first team to clinch the division in baseball.
Yes, because Cincinnati's going to hang around Milwaukee, and that's the only one that's anywhere close to. Yes, White Sox win that one. Astros 2 up on Oakland.
Give me the Angel. I'm just kidding. No,
10 back.
I will say I don't know. I think the A's could actually pull it off. I know that the Laureano injury hurts, but I really like the Starling Marte addition. And I'm glad that they were able to do that. Their starting rotation's really solid. So maybe the A's surprise everyone and win that division. I'm sure baseball fans would be happy about that.
I'll take Houston. NL East, Phillies are up 2 on the Braves and 2.5 on the Mets. Who wins the NL East?
How about those New York Mets sliding to third place?
Yeah, and remember a couple weeks ago, you put quite a bit of money on the Braves. I like the Braves to win that division.
I'm going to stick with it. Yeah. I'm going to stick with it. I like them for a reason, and they really loaded up and made up for the Acuna injury during the trade deadline. So, yeah, I like them long-term more than I like the Phillies. I feel like the Phillies are just in a hot streak right now, and they'll come back down.
Brewers are only up 5 now on the Reds. Can the Reds catch the Brewers?
I don't – I mean, Reds, good for the Reds, though. Reds are, 10 over 500 now?
Yeah. No, yeah, they are. They're 61 and 51, playing really well.
Is Castellanos still on the injured list for them?
Yes.
That's amazing. And Jesse Winker's been playing out of his mind. He's been phenomenal. He should get, MVP votes this year. I will stick with the Brewers, because keep in mind, the Brewers also have, Hader and a couple other people on the COVID list.
Yeah.
So, I think the Brewers are ultimately going to pull away.
And the Giants are 30 games over 500, 4 games up on the Dodgers, 7.5 on the Padres. I still like the Dodgers, but the Giants just keep finding ways.
There are 3 teams in that division that have a run differential over 100. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's insane to even think about any of those teams catching for a wild card, too, because the Giants, Dodgers, and Padres are going to playoffs. They are.
Now, I will say, though, the Padres... the Tatis injury, I think, should be a little scary. And if I'm not mistaken, the Reds are only 2.5 back of them.
Yes.
So, to answer your division question, I'll say the Dodgers pull it out still. But I don't feel as good about it now as I did 2 weeks ago when we were talking about this. The Giants just seem to be hanging in there, and props to them. But I wonder about the Padres a little bit. I really do.
Yeah, I will take the Dodgers. I'll take the Dodgers now. All right, man. Hey, we're over our time. Tim, Honest, Abe Van Stratton, dude. It's been fun. And we'll do it again on Wednesday? What is today? Sunday? Yeah, we'll do it again on Wednesday.
Sunday, Wednesday. Yeah. I mean, they all end in DAY. It doesn't really matter. So.
This is the Put the Kids to Bed version of the Sports 2.0 show. He's Tim, Honest, Abe Van Stratton. I'm Rodney Newpel. So long for just a while. We will be back Wednesday night right here on the Sports 2.0 show.